Okay, greetings, brothers and sisters. So today is Monday, December 30th. I'm getting an early jump on this. This is going to be my images, but I'm going to do something a little bit different. It might be annoying. Definitely going to be annoying. I've already recorded the audio, which we'll get to in a moment, announcing the year of what's going to be in 2024. The year of 2016, I did make a specific video, which was the year of truth and facing up to things. But all the rest of the years, I have specific videos. 2017 and 2018, I think I considered both the year of the beast because I wasn't doing a thing. This wasn't a thing yet. But what I'm going to do is play all these videos, the audio all at once. Like I said, it's probably going to be annoying, but I'm going to do it anyway here. Brothers and sisters, so this is my video I make every year where I talk about some sort of a theme for the year. I've been doing this since I think 2018. I'll read a list of the years, and I'm going to do a little bit of a twist this year. Change it up just a little bit. I got a bunch of stuff to get to. I want to cover.
But before I do that,
Rich man from Richmond.
There was one more little thing to say about Barbie. Somebody sent me
greetings, brothers and sisters.
And
Chris Webby's rap version. So this year, the current year, 2022,
revisit the year of
where Barbie's origin.
Possibly.
I haven't talked about
greetings, brothers. Video called
Sex Dolls.
This is a video in which I'm going to announce YouTube what I think. I'm not going to share following
I want to get into
the first part of the video. I always have a and doing this to show you this. So yesterday, it came to me that 2021
I want to start off this schism,
the video
Schism.
sort of private,
a split or division. This was strongly opposed section. Higher yesterday, trending 30 comments different.
It was like he died in February.
Just keeps the year schizophrenia, marshmallow. One of my favorites. Demi Lovato. I didn't come okay, not to be okay. I didn't know the video, which is awesome. Is there anything? I've been doing this now for number two. What did I do? Okay. What did I not do? Are you okay? 2000. No, I'm not. But that's okay. It's okay not to be. Cool. Then I'm okay. It's just that's actually happened organically. I just opened up all these videos and they all started playing, and it is a hint to what this year is going to be. So I decided to go with it, annoying or not. I got a few comments to get to after this as well, but here's the audio I made. I don't know, midway through the month when I realized. I just wasn't feeling it, and I didn't know what I just wasn't dealing with the whole. I just was kind of over it and didn't really want to come up with anything. And then it hit me. So here's the audio, and it'll be self-explanatory here. Its connection to the introduction to this video. Okay, greetings, brothers and sisters. This is Friday, December 13th, 2024. And you're probably listening to this. I usually do this, I think, around or after Christmas and between Christmas and New Year's or whatever it is, right? Where I announce the year of the future year, the next year's theme. Like last year, the year of the amateur. So right now, there's this guy named Luigi. You've probably forgotten about this. It's a couple weeks from now. It's 3 weeks, 17 days from New Year's. And so this guy named Luigi was accused of shooting a CEO, and it's dominating everything that's going on. Of course, Trump's picks for people who are unqualified for jobs that, are these demonic national agencies and whatever they are, right? And so the year of the amateur, I haven't even been saying they're talking about very much, but it's clearly the year of the amateur. It has been all year. Of course, Kamala Harris's campaign and the debacle that turned out to be and all these things that happened. And, I stopped covering this thing, but it usually gets much worse towards the end of the year. And I've kind of already forgot about the whole theme, but it's, it speaks for itself. And so I really was struggling to come up with something, and I thought I had wrote something down. I had a list so I would remember all the years in order. And I have the list up here. And let me just read the list.
So in 2016, it was a year of truth and facing up to things, which that could be, any year. And then 2017 was the year of the beast. 2018, I didn't do anything because it wasn't really a thing yet. And then 2019 was the year of the ghoul. 2020 was the year of the broken. 2021 was the year of the schism. Of course, there was the division that happened post-election. 2022 was the year of the dummy, and that could be any year, but it was particularly that year. Of course, there was all the stuff we had with COVID, and 2020 with the year of the broken. 2023 was the year of the fuck it, and 2024 was the year of the amateur. And I thought I had something written down here. I had a good idea for some year in the future, but I forgot to write it down. So I purposely left this list for reasons like that. And I wasn't coming up with anything, and I had one idea of something that I think will be the following year. I was I was thinking that would be it. I'm not going to say what it is because, I think I'll use it in 2016 because it makes 2026 if things go the way they think they're going to go. And so then I was making a video today, and I was talking about agenda-driven media. And, that's getting exposed. Of course, that's no longer, nobody's watching that shit anyhow. And I was like, well, maybe that'll be the end of the agenda-driven content media. But that was very wordy, right? And so I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, what's the opposite of that? Because I usually make it one word, right? Ghoul, broken, schism, dummy. The year of the fuck it, the year of the amateur. The year of the dummy, year of the schism, year of the broken, year of the ghoul. So it's usually just a one word type of thing. And so I looked at the words that were opposite of agenda. And the word that I settled on, there was a lot of disorganization. There's all these things. But the best word was chaos, right? And so when you take away the agenda, there's chaos. And so we're entering into the year of chaos. When you have a year of the amateur, you have the year of the fuck it, you have the year of the dummy. And so eventually there's going to be chaos. And I think this is what we're looking at this year, the chaos, the leading up to, all the things that are going to transpire that are going to take down the system. And so it also, with that, a subcategory, the end of the agenda-driven media and content. And so hopefully I'll remember that particular part about it. I'll re-listen to this thing as we enter into the year. And people can remind me of it because it'd be important if they, if I'm covering something I forget to mention, which happens all the time. People say, this is a good example of that year. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I forgot about that. And so, with a special focus on the agenda-driven content, like all this content with agendas, whether you're a news media, you're CNN and you're taking Pfizer money, and then you don't cover things to do with that's harmful about pharmaceuticals, or you're pushing an agenda, like that stuff's just got to go, and it's gonna go. It's at some point. People just are fed up with it, and going into that aspect of it. Plus, there's going to be the chaos of a second Trump presidency. And then World War III and all the things that are unfolding. Now there's drones outside of New Jersey. So, I don't know what's going to happen with these two stories, Luigi story and the drone story, which may or may not involve Iran and these other things, right? So, all these things have to be considered going into this year, and then focusing on all the rest of the aspects of chaos that will be ensuing. And so 2025 is the year of chaos. And that's it for now. Okay, so it's Tuesday, December 31st. Very cloudy, overcast day out there, which I knew was coming for the next bunch of days for me. We won't see the sun for probably about 4 or 5 days, according to the weather people. So I had 3 comments. That's a great way to close out 2024 that were just epic. Like, I've been looking forward to doing them. I was going to start doing them last night, but I was tired and I wanted to do them justice. Because when I'm tired, I'm not sharp, obviously, like everybody else. And these are just epic comments, specifically about my channel and things. It's just great. And then I'm going to read Whispers of the Brighter World messages for my next video tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to this day. Going to do a sitting. And I'm pretty like amped up about New Year's. Like I almost never care about it. Like, when I was younger and, you go out into bars in New Year's Eve and, I didn't, I mean, I don't have a good memory from any of those experiences. My New Year's Eve story, I don't have one. Like, so it's just, like a non-thing to me because it's just arbitrary, right? But I'm kind of amped up to go into 2025. I think that things are going to get reals. And as you already heard about, Year of the Chaos, which, of course, all the years could be every year. Like, this could be the year of the ghoul, or the year of the dummy, or the year of the, all these different things I've talked about. This was the year of the amateur, 2024, and these comments that I'll be reading are definitely amateur hour, so it's like, good way to settle it up. But it's really been the year of the amateur. I mean, just, the Kamala Harris thing that ended up being like that, the Joe Biden thing. I guess they did a good job with Kamala Harris in terms of looting people's money. And then 2 days from now, the 2nd, I have a great interaction with Don Lemon's man on the street type of situation. And it goes with this clip I got from MSNBC about, you'll see this about the media and how this person, fact-checking PolitiFact, wrote a book. And it's this great moment. So I want to get into all that. It's a great, first kind of video stuff about the media and just all of it. So that'll be on the 2nd, which will be Thursday. But let's get into the comments here and wrap this video up. Okay, let me go pull up the first one. This is, oh man, I got to redo my whole thing here. So I have open folders, and every once in a while the whole thing just goes away. Like there's, which kind of sucks, but it's not that hard. When I first started to learn how an Apple computer worked, it was kind of arduous, but now it's just, it's no big deal. But I like to keep the folders open, and that's, it saves me a little time. And now it was gone, but now I fixed it. Okay. So this is, I think these are all to, spoiler alert, Squid Games 2 and Apple TV's disclaimer woke agenda. And I think I must have started off by talking about what's going on with my channel. I'm not sure if all 3 comments are to this, but there are 2 of them are, I think, to that, whatever it is. Like in a recent video, I talked about the struggles with YouTube and the algorithms and, all these things. And so, this person, I love to listen to your videos since decade. I think this person is not, is English isn't their first language. Then they were funny as my kitten and shorter. It was as funny as your kitten? No way. How many videos were fun? Then. It's then. It should be just then. Then they, and it's there, it should be they. So this person's going to write a comment that takes, it took 3 screenshots to get this whole comment in, right? And so, then there were funny as my kitten and shorter. Haven't missed any. Now is mostly complaining. This person's telling me I'm complaining, right? This is going to go on for 3 screenshots. Now is mostly complaining for 2 hours with 1 or 2 funny bits. And I barely can make it to the end because my cooking takes about an hour and a half. And so somebody's cooking for 2 hours. Somebody's listening to my videos for cooking. And my videos go on for 2 hours, but they only cook for an hour and a half. And somehow this is my problem, right? And it's accusing me of complaining. But it gets better. Because my cooking takes about an hour and a half. If I may suggest, if you've been listening to my videos for 10 years, there's obviously a language barrier and a consciousness barrier here. Because you wouldn't be writing this comment, right? Like, it just wouldn't. if I may suggest to cover more topics in shorter way, it's very specific things that this person thinks that they're entitled to me to make my videos to the person. Because I think it's because the person says, I love to listen to your videos since a decade. I think it's time for you to move on. But here's the thing. They want me to do my videos specifically for them. Like this happens not so often anymore, infrequently, but it happens a lot where, it happens, it's a thing. It's frequently, but it's a thing that people think they are entitled to. This person has been listening to my videos for 10 years. I don't know what they've done in terms of contributing to the channel, but I've provided something for them. Hours and hours of content. So the past 10 years, that's 2014. And my videos have evolved. Like I don't, there's not so many people that are around unless they've grown themselves or changed or evolved. Because my videos have changed so much, right? In the past 10 years. Like I've, the way I present the content, the way I conceptualize the content, my position on things, my whole orientation to the stuff has changed. Where I'm before, was more specific and Illuminati driven and Hollywood driven, just to bring in people. And I, as I was at a certain level of my relationship with the news has changed and evolved over time, right? And just my relationship with the whole truth community and all of it, like my understanding or just the ideas in the truth community and things has evolved over time, right? So, people either evolve with you or see that there's some, they appreciate the higher level content. Like my it's more refined. Like I'm better at this than I was before, right? Like my videos before, some of them I might repost. They're privatized because of YouTube, right? All that stuff, the whole thing. But, in terms of, all of these things, there's an evolution and you're going to leave people behind. Like there's people who like certain things. They want me to talk about Britney dancing and mocking her, and I occasionally might still do that. And, people want me to do that, which is fine. But then they have to like the other stuff, like the higher level stuff, the spiritual stuff, right? But anyways, this person's been watching me for 10 years and listening to these long videos and, all this content. And I've provided something for them, right? I don't know if this person maybe has left a comment before. I'm not sure. I kind of maybe recognize. It says here that they comment recently. It's got this, box, right? But this point here, like after all this time, they think they're entitled to me to cater to them, right? That, the videos are just for them, right? If I may suggest to cover more topics in a shorter way, so we will not be listening to tired voice moan about count, about, it's like this C word, it's C with an O with apostrophe around it, a U, an N, and a T. Maybe they didn't know what word it was. And so it's pretty good because it would have been the C word if they hadn't put an O with an apostrophes around it. About count views. So it was going to be C word views and the weather, because it sounds like a 97-year-old Babica television. Babcia, I don't even know. Babcia television. Truly, I love your stories and conclusions, but listening to the show makes me tired after 30 minutes. And I want to come back to listen to more, but there is new 2.4-hour show, and I'm scared to be listening to a tired voice for 2 hours when fun bits are 30 minutes hidden in the fog. So I have to listen. So listen to a half show once a month because of repetitive info covered in the lava of moan. Seriously, your voice and wisdom are great to listen to. Very relaxing and grounding, but seriously, that have said twice. Seriously, your voice and wisdom are great to listen to, very relaxing and grounded. But seriously, there is so much. I have to switch to now the other screenshot. Let me make this bigger. There's a whole thing I got to do. But seriously, there is much new great young people, researchers, since they kind of freed algorithms. Um, but seriously, as much new great young people's researchers, since they kind of freed algorithms. So I feel FOMO listen to you for hours. FOMO. And this is just poorly written comment, right? Which is, again, which are accusing me of complaining. So I feel FOMO listen to you for 2 hours. Don't want to be stressed and tired when for 10 minutes listening about shadow ban in every video I pick, we are all censored. I haven't talked about that in a while. I'm one of the least people who does this. I was doing it every day because I needed to. And it's a pain for me to do. It's just, I don't, if you go to most YouTubers, they tell you to subscribe and hit the like buttons and all these other things. But, there's a real issue here, right? And so that's not complaining. That's just stating, what needs to happen for my channel to keep on going and for you to get access to the content. It's something like I have to do. It's like a community service thing. I don't want to do it. You can tell I don't want to do it. It's just a hassle. It's saying, it's like a 5-minute reciting of the same kind of thing. And I got away from it. I was good about it. I was doing it every day for a while, and I just couldn't keep up. But, either way, it has to be done. It's it's necessary for, this person has been listening to my content for 10 years and values it, right? If I may suggest something, eat less sugar so we will be less depressed. Tested it. But this is the best part. The whole thing's great. And there's multiple spaces, which is always a pain in the ass. Just one space between things, but there's multiple. But this is the part. Love you, Paul. Wow, this is for someone who loves me. What if you hated me? So I assume that you're single because I don't think anybody's going to tolerate this stuff. If this is how you treat people you love, then you're probably single or you're living with a miserable person because you are like a nightmare of a person, right? Love you, Paul, and miss old, sharp, funny, shorter, viral videos from you before YouTube purge. I would rather watch a few good short shows than one long rant. We got to go to the next thing here. Here, let me just, I got to make it bigger to do all those things. One long rant with mixed timeline about not much which I can physically go through. And you have great observations, but the way it is presented is just too long and repetitive. Just work less and it will be better because it's unimaginable having the internet with no Paul Romano and his viewpoint. Your videos are unshareable because of it. Get of those Black Mirror statistics. And then there's some kind of a smiley face thing at the end. Made with like a curse, made like with a semicolon, like a dash and a, parentheses. So just one thing to say about this person saying that they love me, right? Which, of course, you don't. This is whatever, I don't know. But this person likes my content. And so there's that. But in my estimation, my videos have gotten better. I feel that way, about all of it. Because I've gotten better at analyzing things. And I can look back at my older videos and I watch them I would do this totally different now. It would be something where it's I know more than I knew before. And I've evolved. Like I said, I've sort of cracked the code in my life and these things, right? But, for this specific person, there's a lot here that the person's saying that they like the content, love the content. And, well, let me read the other comments to talk about that because it applies to all three of these comments. But, I crack the code in terms of relationships. And, it seems like I focus on the negative because everything's negative, right? But I don't do that, in my life and certainly with my relationships. I look at the positive. And that's this way to be successful in life in terms of relationships with other people. This person, no. Like, because I don't, value people like this. Like, I hope you go somewhere else. Just go. Like, it's time for you to go. Just, branch out to these new, younger people with good researchers, whatever it is. Because you don't really get the channel no matter how much you say you're watching it, and you don't get me because, like, this isn't going to affect me at all, like, in terms of my content. Because there's lots of people who say they like the long videos. And the people I would rather, please are the people who like whatever I do, because that's what true love is. Like, if somebody's doing something wrong that needs to be corrected in your life, like there's something you need to say to them, or like whatever, there's things like that. But that's not what's happening here. Like, I'm making content the way that, I feel like I need to make it. And it's a lot of factors going into it. And you have people who all think that they have some insight into what I should do. Oh, do this, go to Rumble. Rumble sucks. It's like, it's not working for me. I don't like the, I'm going to do the rest of the videos there, that healthcare ones. And that'll be it. There's no reason for me to try to cultivate something there. It's not, doesn't pay the same way. I won't get as many views, which will lead to, less money. I won't reach as many people. And I don't like the whole format. And, the limited things that I can say there that I can't say here on YouTube, it's limited. It's not that much stuff. I mean, it's mostly like the healthcare things. Like, everything else, I can find a way to say it here in just a different way. Like, so just going around YouTube's, whatever they might be. But, like, people all have their ideas of what I should do and how I should do it. But, like, I'm not asking for that, because I'm not, occasionally someone will give a good idea, but it's one out of, whatever it might be, 1,000. But mostly it's the same ideas. It's the same things that other people have said before. And go to here, do this, why do you do that, make your videos shorter, make your videos longer, all these things. But, none of that stuff works. The long videos is making the long content. It's the only way that I can make enough money based on the amount of ads that YouTube's putting in there. I could divide my videos up into shorter segments, which, it works against the algorithm. I mean, not just the algorithms, but YouTube will only recommend, if they recommend a video, or not recommend, they will, not about even recommending. It's about notifications. They might notify you for one video. So the first video I make that day will get a lot more views just because of the notifications. Unless they don't notify for that one, they notify for a later one, which almost never happens. So all the videos after that, the shorter videos, so if I made 4 or 5 shorter videos, they would get less views, and people would not ever see them, because YouTube's not going to notify you 5 times for one channel. They don't even want to notify you every day for one channel. It's a whole thing. The notification thing with YouTube has been sucky for a long time. And so there's all of that, right? But again, just for this specific person, when you love somebody and you want to have a good relationship, then you should focus on the positive. I mean, every day, think about all the good things the person does for you and means to you, and say those things to the person, right? Because, everyone's going to eat shit from the rest of the world. And so you're in some kind of positive relationship. Like, for this person, she says that, and I'm assuming this is a woman, that I am providing good content for this person for 10 years or whatever. And that's like a service that's being provided for them. But then, oh my God, like this and that, like this is what you should do, and this is the thing, and it takes me only an hour and a half to cook a meal, and you go 2 hours, like, oh. It's wonderful. So, this is why you're single, or you're like people that around you are miserable, because you're focused on, there's a good thing you're getting. You recognize value in my content, and instead of being encouraging, you're whining and complaining in a way that's, in terms of the grasp of the English language, right? It's hard to get through. So then there was this. Somehow I made this one blue. So this is to the exact same video. So, like, I think people decided that they had something to offer me I must have talked about the difficulties I'm having with the channel because I have to do that every once in a while. And this is a person, so was just a classic comment here. As much as I enjoy your content, and in parentheses, and I do, as much as I enjoy your content, and I do, like that means nothing when you say something like that because you're about to shit all over it, right? You're about to say something completely negative. And so, like, don't bother with the other thing. Like, just leave. Like, every one of these comments, I've set very clear boundaries about this. I'm not, I don't have a complaint department. I have to make the content the way I make it for reasons you can't understand because you're not doing it. And there's a knowledge, like in terms of me doing this YouTube channel as a full-time job since 2014 and having it since 2007 and having, this is probably, I've had probably 3 million comments, right? And, all these things, just the whole comment section is is interesting as a I'm a person who, is a spiritual and psychological study of human behavior, right? Like in these things, in social behavior, like it interests me, and I'm good at reading people and these things, and I've seen so many of these types of comments, and they're always about you and never about me, and so this is your problem and not mine. It's always your problem, not mine, right? And so if I say don't tell me you don't care, I don't need to know, or if I say I don't have a complaint department, and I mean it. But you're like, fuck you, I'm going to say it anyway. And so it's already a fuck you to me. Like, these things are all fuck you, Paul. I'm going past your boundaries. I've put, like, what I need or don't need from you guys as an audience, people who are, and these are the people who benefit from my content. Now, I know there's pieces of shit out there who, just like to hate on people, or they come in, they're like, oh my God, I don't like you. Like, just... they watch one video, they don't like me and the thing, and they have to say something because that's what they do. And that's anonymous, and, they're negative, hateful pieces of shit who just want to tell everyone else how bad they suck, right? And you're a sucky person. And those people are going to leave shitty comments because that's what they do. They're not here. They're not benefiting. They don't value what I do. But the people who claim to value what I do, people who are eating from the tree, let's say this is an apple tree, a fruit tree, and you get like good fruit from it, and every once in a while a fruit comes out that you don't like it's not shaped the right way, or it's not ripe enough, or it's got a bruise on it, or some complaint you have about one year the fruit isn't as good, whatever to you, like it's just not as whatever it is. And what you should do is fertilize the tree. You should provide something, right? Give it feedback in some way, figure out what the tree needs and give it to it, and enhance the tree, support the tree, right? But instead, you're pouring Roundup, root killer, or fucking bleach or something, or gasoline or whatever at the roots, and then the tree doesn't bear fruit anymore, and you're like, what the fuck, tree? Because you're pouring poison on it, right? This is poison. Like, if I'm providing something for you, and again, I'm talking about a whole group of people that are on the internet who suck. This is why you're single. This is why you have miserable relationships. This is why your life sucks. Because of your orientation. That's why I say be grateful. So through your gratitude, because you're getting something from me, instead of finding little things to pick at in your mind, like you're finding ways to complain about. Like a person is who they are, right? You can't just exclude parts of them, just like you can't exclude parts of the video. This is the way I do things, right? And if there's going to be things that annoy you, maybe, things you don't want to hear about. Yeah, of course there is. Some things are going to interest you more than others, right? These are just how it is. Like, you just have to be grateful for the whole thing, right? Just come with an attitude of being grateful. I didn't want to rhyme there. An attitude of gratitude, right? Just come. That's how you're supposed to receive these videos, because there's something that I offer that no one else on the internet offers. And it's my 30 years of doing the Sajmark system and the transmission, the cleaning goes with it. And just my value of, like, in terms of my effort that I've put into my spiritual life, and then the training I've had, and the stuff with the homesteading, and, all the things that I've done in my life that are, things that most people don't do. And it's a combination of those things, right? It's a unique perspective, but plus, I'm dyslexic and these things. So my videos and my content is different, and there's value in it that people don't appreciate because I appreciate when I got it. The information that I received from the Sajmark system, and then, the things that have come to me through my life and whatever it is, that have, changed my perspective. I value all those things because I know how great they are for me. And I'm sharing them with you, right, in one way or another. And so, the position that I take here is do something to support the channel in some way. Find some way. Support it financially, share videos, do whatever. Tell people how great it is, whatever it might be. Find some way to give back. But this isn't giving back. This is you receiving, something positive from me and then giving me toxic shit in return, right? Like this is what people do, not just for me, but in fact, it's less for me because I ban people and, I probably get less of this kind of stuff than lots of people on the internet. But you want to dump your toxic shit on somebody. That's the thing. Most people want to do that. The majority of people on the internet want to dump their toxic, hateful shit on somebody, right? Like your complaints, your little whiny, little bitchy shit, right? Your negativity. You're receiving something positive and you give back negativity because you suck as a person. Like that's the majority of humanity. I've seen it over and over again, through my process of answering comments. And like I said, it's worse in other places. You see the comment section of every, with all these different people. And so, that's just a horrible thing. As much as I enjoy your content, and I do, sounds to me like you have your answer. If you are not getting views and you are not making the money, well, in Paul Romano's voice, what's that tell you? That's not what I would say. Use your noggin. P.S. I did all the stuff you asked me to do to keep you afloat, but God is giving you the answer. It's up to you to listen. Thanks again for the content. Always grateful. Well, you're not grateful. Because you had the audacity to tell me what God wants me to do. Because, of the fact that YouTube is excluding channels like mine. Everybody with a truther channel. YouTube has set up their algorithms for desirable content, right? And someone like Don Lemon, who I'm going to cover, and people like that who are mainstream people and who are going to say things that are corporate friendly and stay within the narrow views of the, whatever it is, all these celebrities, someone like Will Smith, YouTube is going to give them the benefit. Their algorithms are catering to this shitty content done by mainstream people. And then there's a variety of different algorithms. And my other channel used to my backup channel, Apocalypse Now, YouTube used to love. Whatever I put out there. If I put a video out there that was yellowed, like I tried it, like a video that was yellowed on my other channel, would get greened there. Like it would have you would get monetized where it wouldn't be monetized on this channel, right? But recently when I, talked to the YouTube bots and I told them about the shadow banning, it got better here for a while. It's been better here, and I don't know why it is, and maybe they're loosening up a little bit. They seem to be less bent on censorship and demonetization, at least this past year, because all the ads maybe, we'll see how it is going forward, right? But in all that, not just truthers, but lots of YouTubers being squeezed out by YouTube. And so that is a man-made thing, right, that we all have to deal with. Like YouTube is no longer being, it's getting worse and worse about content that they don't approve of, and YouTube is shrinking. I don't know if their ads are, I don't know what's going on with YouTube, why they're doing this, because it's not just for truthers, right? But that's not a sign from God, right? Like, what are you talking about? Like, it's just silly. It would mean that all truthers should stop making videos, or at least on YouTube or whatever it is, and, not make this kind of content. Like, God isn't making YouTube do this, right? It's corporations that are doing this. And, this exclusion of, when YouTube was just the wild, wild west, the corporations came in and said, we're not going to pay for things that are, detrimental to our worldview. That was the whole ad apocalypse that happened, and that happened for people like PewDiePie. And I don't even know if that guy's still around, but he probably is. And, that's somebody who's being supported by this, right? And so there was things done by YouTube and censorship set in. And, my channel was one of the channels that made it through. If anything, God supported me in various ways, right? But for someone to have the audacity to tell me that they know what God's trying to tell me and I don't, right? It's a struggle. It's going to be a struggle because of all the things I've just said, right? But the way God would tell me that I shouldn't make content anymore is that the flow of information that, streams through me, the stream would would no longer be there, right? Like there would no longer be any energy. There would be no longer any sort of me being a conduit. And that's the opposite is true. Like I have more and more content I can make every day. There's more and more information. So if anything, I feel like God is completely behind me and is wanting me to do this, work, or the divine forces. I don't even want to say God. I don't think God wants anything because of God not having a mind. But the divine beings that are working for the upliftment upliftment of humanity certainly want me to make this content because it's flowing even more, right? It's been more refined. I'm evolving, and it's benefiting me. If the well dried up, that would be something different. But the key to this comment is here at the end, where the person says this. P.S. I did all the stuff you asked me to do to keep you afloat, but God is giving you an answer. Like, that's quitter talk. I did everything you told me to do, did you? What, you liked the video? Like, what did you do? Like, this list the shit that you've done, right? You can't because I banned you, but, you've done all the things. You've done your part. It must mean God doesn't want you to keep you, God doesn't want you to make content anymore. And to leave it always grateful, well, that's not gratitude. Because, again, your job is to be encouraging, right? But it's the audacity to think that, like I talk about having a personal relationship with God. And once in a while, people are in denial about what's happening. I'm not in denial about what's happening. Like I saw what's happening with YouTube 2.5 years ago. And I mean, it's amazing that I've been able to stay afloat this long. And so, there's at least 5,000 people that want to watch my videos on a regular basis. I mean, to think that people would watch my show, you look at like TV shows and movies. So, there are TV shows you really like. There are series, right? And let's say you stream a series you haven't seen. Like we streamed, say, for example, Better Call Saul, and there was 5 seasons. Or one of the shows we really liked was The 10 Monkeys. It was based on the 10 Monkeys movies. And it was a time travel show. Very, really good, well done show. And we streamed like 4 seasons of it, right? Long seasons, like, when they had 20 episodes, things like this. And, my wife and I really enjoyed and watched it. We couldn't watch it every day for 10 years. I mean, the fact that, I make content every day, but I don't expect people to watch it every day. Unless you're enjoying it, then great, but if you're watching me every day, that's taking up 2 hours of your time or whatever it is, even 10 minutes of your time every day to listen to some of my content, right? Like that's a lot, right? That's, that's a commitment. That's, that's something that, I mean, people have these radio shows. So I guess it's, there's some reference point. Like people have 5-day-a-week radio shows, but I make content every day and have to keep the channel going. But in that there are, there's probably about 10 to 20,000 people watch my content regularly. Not every day, but some watch some things, some watch others. Sometimes people disappear for a while and they come back. But they value what I do here, and it benefits them in some way. And you hear the comments, and there's, that's a lot of people. 5,000 people is a lot of people. Like I said, if I walked outside my front door and all my viewers were standing there, it would be overwhelming to see all those people, like that many people listen to me. Like if it was a crowd of people and I had to give a speech to them or whatever, I'm like, holy shit, there's a lot of people out here. For me, I'm just talking to myself, right? And so, and these people are, I mean, you can always make content for dumbasses. I mean, the content I used to make was, it's more sophisticated now, and more, in terms of exclusive, that people who have a higher level of consciousness, that are here now, where I made lots of videos that dummies could watch. Like, I don't cater to dummies anymore, and I did in the beginning, and, I was at wherever I was at personally. But I got tired of doing that shit. I don't want to do the celebrity stuff as much, and, whatever it might be. Because it's just, like if I have something funny to say, or it's something that's kind of interesting to me, but for the most part, it's just like, it's just celebrity shit, right? Just like, who gives a shit? Like, it's just, if anything, that's jumped the shark. It's the celebrity culture, as we live in a system that's imploding around us, right? And so, if anything, God has supported me in ways to keep my channel going. Also, keeping me under the radar, which has been a real positive thing for me. But in the Sajmark tradition, if things are difficult, that doesn't mean God wants you to stop, right? There's times that, yeah, you should. It's like if it's something bad that you're doing, like something that's not benefiting you, like if you're, smoking and, changing your diet because something that you've been using is obviously causing you health problems, and you just don't want to stop because you're addicted to it, or you just love it so much, or whatever, right? Or it's a habit that you don't want to break. Like things like that, there are like elements of that. But that's not what's happening here. There's an evolution. Like, I'm growing as a content creator, and there is an audience, and, it's just my lack of business skills to monetize that audience. If I, charge people for what I do here, I would be able to make enough money if there was enough people willing to pay for it, right? And so, like, I could go to get rid of the YouTube ads, which is not a very effective way of making money. They don't pay you enough, right? YouTube ads are not the best way to do it, but I don't want to exclude everyone else from, it's great that the people do the membership stuff, right? But I want to exclude everyone else. But anyways, there's all of that. So the last comment, I read these two comments. Like, I hadn't seen my comments for a couple of days. And my wife sent me an email saying, you probably don't want to heart this comment. And so here is that comment here. No, that's not that comment. I had an extra comment, bonus comment. Then I'll get to that one. So this one, I forgot about this one. So this was to the video of Kaboom, Jeff Bezos' dude, and then the Blake Lively stuff. Your hatred of both flat earthers and their models shows your weakness. You mentioned them in at least 1 out of 3 videos. Again, if you're watching that much content, then holy shit, like, why are the negative comments? Like, like, I don't understand people watching things so they can feel anger and hatred towards somebody. Like, it's just counterproductive. When something irritates me, I turn it off. When it makes me mad or makes me whatever, which very seldom happens. But if it does, I would just turn it off. I certainly wouldn't listen to it to where I would say all this stuff about 1 out of 3 videos. I barely mention flat earthers. Like, you think like it's not 1 out of 3 videos. It's maybe 1 out of 30. It might be like, in a series of videos if it comes up. But it's often comment related. It's flat earthers who still comment and can't keep their mouth shut because of this. But there's no hatred. Like, I don't hate anybody because that makes me feel bad. Hatred is a negative thing to have in yourself. I've said this over and over again. If I feel hatred, I deal with it. So my problem with the flat earth model is they don't have one. There's no one that works. So there's no problem with it. It's just pointing out a reality that if you're a flat earther, you have no model. You might have proven, which I don't think you have, or there's there might be some data out there that debunks the round earth model, and that could mean it's a simulation or whatever. But you're round earth denialists. You're round earth debunkers. You're not flat earthers. You're not proving a flat earth. You're disproving a round earth. And every flat earther or anybody who's been around flat earthers know this. All of their content is about how the earth isn't round. And then they have no model to verify the flat earth. And so these are biblical people that buy into the Old Testament, which is a piece of shit book. which I said over and over again, because it blasphemes God. And the religion associated with it is a religion that isn't based in God, because God is presented as a demon, a narcissistic, petty demon. So this is your indoctrination as a Christian, that you've been given an Old Testament, that Jesus himself was like, no, this sucks. I'm going to go to India and find something else, right? Like that's what happened. Jesus did the same thing I did. He grew up in a religion, and he went to India and he found spirituality. Or I didn't go to India at the beginning, but similar things, because that's how he did it. And he came back and he presented an Indian model of yoga to people, because what Jesus presents to people is a form of yoga. It's one of the various forms of yoga. It's like Kripa yoga or one of these things. His teachings are very specific, and there's historical evidence in India that Jesus was there and trained. That's where he got his information. And so, like, it's not like it wasn't something even he discovered. He was trained in some spiritual techniques. He brought them back to the people in his country, in his demographic, because he wanted to share this great thing with them, because he knew the religion he grew up in sucked, right? He transcended his religion. And so, a good Christian would inevitably transcend their religion and become spiritual. A person who was, evolving in their relationship with God. And so, people who leave comments, dumbass comments about flat earth stuff after I've made it clear my position on it is annoying, and it just reminds me of that, and I bring it up. In terms of flat earthers themselves, like, I wouldn't hate a whole group of people, because there's flat earthers people who believe in the flat earth that are well behaved, and they come here and they enjoy my content, and they realize we just disagree on that. And so I wouldn't lump them in with all the other people. But the flat earth movement in itself has made a joke of the truth community, and the flat earthers graduated to be the QBs, and these are right-wing people who aren't confronting their own indoctrination and their own hypocrisy in the Republican Party, and they're not confronting their shit with Trump, their belief in Trump. They're in denial about everybody but the people they hate, which is the Democrats and the liberals and the deep state, right? So this is that group of people has hurt all of us, and they're not really welcome here because they're not really truthers, because they don't want to change, right? The majority of people don't, let me see, I have the data here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is, I think. That studies have shown up to 70% of people who make New Year's resolutions abandon those good intentions within months. Of course they do. And what do most New Year's resolutions fail? It's the second Friday of the month. So it's called Quitter's Day. 20% of adults quit their New Year's goals by the end of the first week of January. So 23%, 1/4 of that's the biggest day. That's called Quitter's Day. And so they have, like, whatever time period. They said the second Friday of the month they've already quit it by. So if you do a New Year's resolution for tomorrow, which will be Wednesday, and you'll carry it through till next Friday. And so most people are giving up on their New Year's resolution because it would be stuff they wouldn't wait for New Year's to do, right? Like, people are like, there's things that they've been wanting to change. They want to lose weight. They want to be on a diet. They want to, be more positive. They want to, give something up, smoking, whatever it might be, right? They know that there's something bad for them. It's usually a material thing, isn't spiritual. And they know that they shouldn't be doing it. And so they're like, all right, I'll do it. I'll finally give this up on New Year's. And so it's like a day of change, like a birthday or something. It's a day where I'm going to start living more healthy. I'm going to do what I know I should be doing. And for me, it's always been easy. Like, it's always been easy renouncing things. I stopped drinking when I was in college for some period of time. I ate macrobiotic food because I wasn't feeling good physically. And my brother was doing a macrobiotic food diet, so I just did what he did because I was, too, immature or whatever, not developed enough to research my own diet, right? But my brother had converted to macrobiotic food, which is a very strict diet and kind of sucky and hard to do. It was hard for me to do because I didn't have the cooking skills. My brother, his wife was cooking. So it's like a, intensive. I mean, it's just not a good diet, like whatever. But I did it for 3 months and I felt better. When I was a kid, when I ate candy, I realized the candy was making me sick and I stopped doing it. Like I was like I was moderate about my candy, how much candy I would eat. It made me sick. It made me feel bad. I could recognize that how I was doing, feeling in my body. There's a time because of my allergies, my mom said, you should go off dairy, which I liked. I liked milk quite a bit, all dairy. And you should go off dairy. And I did for 3 months. And I said, can I eat dairy again? Like, Mom was like, oh, you're still doing that? So like, I've been able to do that in my life. Like, if something's bad for me, I'm able to get it out of my life, right? Which is, I mean, I can tell it. And it's like, this is listening to God's signs, like this other person said. This YouTube channel isn't bad for me. Like, it's something, when you have something to say, or you have a gift that you're given, not having something to say, but you have a gift that you're given that you're supposed to use, and you don't use it, it's called spiritual grossness. It's called power grossness in the Sajmark system. And the second master of the system said, of all the crimes that people commit, of all the bad things that people do, not utilizing the gifts that God have given you to share with your brothers and sisters is the worst one. And so if you're given power by God, if you're given a gift, and you decide not to utilize that gift, not to offer that gift to the world, that's the worst kind of grossness to clean. It solidifies. It's the worst thing that you can do spiritually. And, which is interesting. And so, I have something to offer, and if because of YouTube sucking and just the frustration or the lack of money or whatever it might be, if I didn't, provide that for people, it would hurt me. I know that to be a fact. Like, you have to let things flow, right? But anyways, getting back to the flat earthers, it's the people that keep on, it's a lost movement. It's hurt. It just let it go, right? Like there's no flat earth. It's whatever, the simulation, whatever explanation that you're looking for, whatever your animosity or anger towards the round earth model, there's no flat earth. And the videos and all that movement did nothing but embarrass the truth community. But it's the kind of people that have gone from being flat earthers to then being QBs and then being Trumpers. It's this group of people that exists in the truth community, and they're so arrogant. They think they're so right. And most of them don't have they're double-digit IQ people. They don't have the ability for abstract thought, and they just have been duped by these groups of people, these presenters. In many cases, the people who are telling you that they believe in flat Earth don't really believe in flat Earth. They don't read the Old Testament, and they're just using that as a way for views, or they're trolling you or whatever, or they're disinformation agents. And so the whole movement sucks, right? There's no hatred. It's an embarrassing movement. It's an embarrassing thing. And I listened to it. I was open to it, and it failed dramatically. So then here's the other comment. So my wife said, she sent me an email, and she highlighted this comment and said, you probably shouldn't have hearted this comment. And so somehow I didn't read this comment and just hearted it, because it starts off, so sad, bro, which should have been an indication to me that I don't want to read the comment and I should probably ban this person, which I ended up doing. But the second line, you are silly and misguided. And so sad, bro, you are silly and misguided. I remember why I stopped listening to you for a while back. You present as an intellectual, but you lose silly logic in a condescending manner. What a sinister joke. Just my 2 cents. Why would you show back up, right? Why would you have a need to try to make people feel bad about themselves? I mean, that's what this comment is, all these comments. It's telling me, I suck, right? This is, which is a big part of the internet. The need to tell people that they suck. Now, you might say, well, you do that a lot in your videos. Well, I don't do it directly to the people. I'm not trying to form a relationship with them. I don't leave comments on their content telling them they suck. I'm not looking to tell them. I'm telling you, we're joking about people sucking. I'm joking about people sucking, like I would with my wife and I are watching TV shows, and we're joking about something that's funny or like remedial or stupid that people are doing. But we're not there trying to tell people, because you can't tell people. It doesn't work, right? And, these vague comments, you are silly and misguided. Like, any of these comments, how is this going to play out, right? Going back to the first comment, where the woman's telling me she wants my videos to be an hour and a half long, and so I should shorten certain segments because it takes her an hour and a half to cook. And I'm supposed to cater to that, right? Like the entitlement of things here, right? There's no, you're upset about something, then don't watch. I mean, that's what I say. I don't want people to watch if they're not, into it. Like I'm not looking for mercy watches or, these things or views. This is like if there's no audience, there's no audience. And then I could move on to do something else, right? Because there'd be no audience. But there is an audience of people who enjoy the content. And so, why are you guys commenting? Like, just go out and go do something else, right? Like, you're more than welcome to leave. That's not, in fact, I encourage it because it's unhealthy for you to sit here and be upset or not like what I'm saying and listen to it anyway. Like, what are you doing with your free time, right? Like, how do you have so much time that you can listen to content that doesn't have any value to it, just makes you irritated and you complain about it? And then you got to show back up and say something. Discouraging, right? Why would you discourage people? Because, I say this is my, the bottom line of all this kind of comments is that there's so much content out there. It isn't like I have the only channel on YouTube or I have the only content available. There's now so many streaming services and so much information, so many people like me out there and doing podcasts and doing content. Like, you have a plethora, smorgasbord of possible content, right? On so many different platforms. And there are people who like the content. That's why channels survive. That's why people are doing it. They're getting something back from their audience, right? There's people who don't watch, there's content that nobody watches, or, they have 5 views or 10 views or 100 views or whatever. Just randomly, random stuff. And then there's people who put out regular content and have a regular audience. I have a regular audience of people who enjoy what I do here. Again, maybe as many as 20,000 regular people, at least probably 10,000. That come and go. Well, don't watch every video, but watch, some content of mine on a weekly basis, a yearly basis, monthly basis, right? And they enjoy my content for whatever it is, right? They recognize, there's flaws with everything. There's things that, people don't, like certain things. Of course, that's going to be like that, right? You're not going to get everything exactly the way you like it. We're not going to agree on everything. But they like what I do here, right? And so those people, why would you want my channel to be gone? Like, there are people who actively work to destroy other people's channels, and discourage people. When you could just leave and go do something else. Like, what's fucking wrong with you that you have to try to take something away from other people who are enjoying it? Like, you're not my audience. It's fine, right? Move on to somebody else or something else, right? But like, other people are enjoying it. Why would you be so selfish? You want to discourage me and encourage me to stop doing what I'm doing so that other people, need or, want or benefit from what I do here, right? And anybody, I'm just talking about in general, like, why are you like that? Like, what's wrong with you? Something's not for you, right? And that you want to take it away from people who it is for them, right? Or potential people out there that might benefit from what I do here, especially the spiritual stuff. That there is people out there that have yet to, find this channel that may benefit from it, and you want to get rid of it. You want me to get rid of it or whatever it is because you don't like it, you selfish fucking myopic pricks, right? And so, like, this is a good way to end the year of the amateur. I mean, this is amateur hour out there. Like, you guys who, think you know more or whatever, who don't do this professionally and just, well, I think you should do this is my opinion. These are my 2 cents. I've put a boundary up and said, I don't want your 2 cents. Your 2 cents are not welcome here, right? I'm not asking for your opinion or, about me or my content. This is not a way, if I say my channel's struggling, it's not an open invitation for you to solve my problem for me by giving me advice or by critiquing what I do, because I've said it over and over again, there's no complaint department I'm not looking for your opinion and how I should manage my channel, because, one person says one thing, one person says the exact opposite thing. So this channel is for people who appreciate and are grateful for the content that I provide in the way I provide it, and looking in a positive way, and are looking to give something back because they're receiving something, and everyone else can go fuck themselves, right? Like that's should bring to the end of 2024 as we end the year of the amateur, and we move into 2025, the year of chaos. And only spirituality will save this world. It's Romano, definitely important for the apocalypse and the ascension. Everyone have a blessed day and be grateful.